ladies and gentlemen. Were you here Friday?
I was not here Friday. I was packing.
So it's a long time since we've seen you. Welcome back, bitch. Welcome
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Wow.
You know, yeah, I'm starting another journey.
I know.
And moving away from my beloved New York. I know, I'm going back to L.A.
When do you leave? Today?
I leave in like 2 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, it's so funny, but when I first moved here 10 years ago, we started The View. I hated New York. I wanted to go home.
She was trying to sneak back to the airport. I was trying to get out of here.
But now I love this city so doggone much. I love New York more than...
Well, we'll be here. We'll be here for you. Whenever you come back, we'll be here. New York isn't going anywhere.
This is a nice little saying goodbye.
That's right.
This has been the send-off. But literally, The View, I had the best experiences here. I met the most wonderful people. I got to meet the idols in my head. Whoopie.
The president.
I got to meet the president. I remember Jeffrey sat on President Obama's lap, and he had a meltdown. And I was like, you better smile and sit on his lap.
So true.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Want to get into the fray?
Thank you, yes.
All right, baby. The hot topic on Friday was Khizr Khan at the DNC, the Muslim father of a fallen soldier who claimed Donald Trump has not sacrificed anything for this country. And that started the war of words. And they continued throughout the weekend. Take a look. Listen. Donald, you haven't sacrificed anything. Your kids are walking around. They're still with you. You have done business things. That's one thing. When you talk to a family the way that you have, whose son gave his life
for our country,
for this country, how dare you?
And you said it happened over the weekend, but I think the egregious thing to a lot of people, he was still tweeting about it. This morning, he said, Mr. Khan, who doesn't know me, viciously attacked me from the stage, and he's doing the same. That was at 7 o'clock this morning, but my thing is, you know, in one of his tweets, he says he attacked me. Am I not allowed to respond? We're always allowed to respond, but should we choose to respond every time? I felt like I was having a conversation with my 6-year-old. JJ, just because your sister hit you, you don't have to hit back. You don't have to get the last word in. I feel like I'm having a conversation with a child.
Inside voice, Donald Trump, because you can't, when someone loses a child and so violently, like he attacked the wife. Yes. You know, and she wrote an op-ed piece, and she was interviewed, and she said, I lost my child. I couldn't even say anything. When you got something like that, you be quiet, no matter what they say, because you can't trump anything. And that's the thing that worries me about Donald Trump. No matter what, you always have to win. You always have to have the last word.
The last word.
Even now, when this is going on.
I didn't see this being the answer that would sidetrack him. There was such an obvious human response to that, which is, I cannot fathom the loss. It is the ultimate sacrifice, and he happened to have also died for the country. So I did not see that coming, and when he started to speak, I kept thinking, no, like, what's next? And he kept going into thousands and tens of thousands, and I was like,
and he keeps going, you attack me. That's narcissism. You attack me. It's me.
Here's the deal, you know, maybe they feel like you attacked them. They're Muslim. Their son died for this country, for the country they love. Maybe they feel like you should be attacking. And, you know, veterans groups are really, they were pissed before. They're really like losing their minds now.
Donald Trump came out initially. His initial response was to say that Mr. Khan, who has never met me, has no right to stand in front of millions of people, basically, and criticize him. Yes, he does. Yes. This is the United States of America. Yes. So all that proved to me is this is a guy who's out there saying, I'm going to back the Constitution, I'm going to back the Constitution. You don't know what you're talking about. That's the whole point of America, that this guy can get up and criticize.
Yes. And you know, Donald Trump, what also scares me is the fact that he paints everything with such a broad swath of cloth. He looks at Muslims as all bad. They're just, and he tried to fix it, and he tried to make this apology, but that scares me as you're going to be the commander-in-chief that you can profile at the highest level. That goes back to, you can take a group of people and put them in an intern camp. That kind of style of being a president, that scares me, and I don't have an Amsterdam relocation fee. I can go to Detroit. That's as far as I can go. I don't have the money to move out of this country.
That's what the DNC is for. If you're watching at home and you're getting ready to see a bunch of people come out and speak about why someone else is the better candidate, you're going to get some criticism. Yeah. And when you're the president, you're going to get it all the time. Yeah. Are you ready? No.
No, it's
I want him to block his Twitter account. That's what I want.
That's entertaining.
I mean, this is a shocker, and no one faint. But even Paul Ryan and Senator Mitch McConnell, they have condemned these statements. They have condemned these statements, saying you have no right.
But they didn't use his name.
Yeah, but you know what? You know who it is. There was only one person they could have been talking about.
I'm just saying because he asked, the father asked, you know, he said, you guys should say.
Somebody say something, and they did. Somebody say something.
I'm not surprised.
And he did it.
I'm not surprised they did this because I do think there are a lot of Republicans that have a fundamental problem with some of these things Trump is saying, like ban all Muslims. Many have come out. You had John Kasich come out. You had, like you said, Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan. But I do think it's a moment for the Republican Party where a lot of politicians are going to have to say, this is a test of my character.
Amen.
Do I back this party at all costs? Do I back this nominee just because that's who won and say, okay, you know what, I got to stand with the party? Or do I say, you know what, this is not what my party should represent. This is not who I am. So I'm not backing this guy. What happens if Donald Trump, something he hasn't done this entire campaign, decides to apologize?
It's a little late.
I think it's a little late.
It's a little late, and I don't think anybody will
believe it.
I think people may say, you know, hey, yeah, but I don't think there's anybody out there who's backing Donald Trump who is not questioning this last bunch of stuff. Because this, as you were saying, it's fundamental. This is, people go and die for our country. Are we now going to say, yes, you can go, no, you can't go. Yes, you can go, no, you can't go. Americans come in all kind of hues and all kind of, you know, genders, and we look all kind of different, and religions. And, you know, if we ask people to fight for the country, I don't think the president should be putting down their families who say, listen, because how you going to deal with these families who are going to come to you because their children have been killed, and you're going to have to stand with them. You don't have to talk to them. How is that going to work for you, Donald? Empathy. He's right. And you need to get some empathy and compassion. And we need to get some space because we got to go and sell some stuff. We'll be right back.
Later, Miss Teen USA outrage. Should she lose her crown after ugly racist tweets emerge online? So, Sunny shared this.
A friend recently who followed her husband on social media noticed this woman who one day was carrying her bag.
Can you imagine?
He gave them both the same bag.
What an idiot.
Why would you take a picture unless you're trying to get caught?
Maybe he just likes that bag.
Oh, you know you love it. It's the new on ABC.
And so there is other Trump drama from the weekend. I know. Nude photos of his wife Melania from 1996. Some with her posing with different. Anyway, it made the front page of the New York Post. Now, some people are saying that he allowed this or is behind putting this up to sort of get us to stop talking about the cons and everything else. But I don't know. I think it's kind of, it's a terrible, either way, it's a terrible thing to do to her. You know, so what if she's taking this, so what?
That's quite good, though. Can I just say, though? She does look She's good. she's beautiful. At least she's that.
She's
She's beautiful. And I would, if I were her, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. This is part of her past. Everyone has a story. This is part of her story. But I find it interesting that every time a distraction is needed, every time he makes a mistake, Melania winds up compromised in some way. You saw the plagiarism issue. You saw this. Now, I'm not saying it's orchestrated. I don't know. But it's just really convenient that every time he does something that's messed up, she's the one that winds up.
Look,
He hasn't tweeted about it. He usually tweets about every sort of. There's really. I mean, he responded in the Post and he justified. He said this happened 2 years before we met, and you know, at that time, especially in the fashion industry, it's very acceptable. Especially it happened with a European magazine. But you haven't seen any sort of angry outrage from him at all. It does make you wonder.
I think it's just very interesting because, like you said, this is the second time with pictures with Melania that the Republican Party is known as a party of being very conservative. So, you know, you got this face, and this could possibly be the president and FLOTUS. And the FLOTUS, the first lady, sets the trends. I mean, with Michelle Obama, when she wore that black and white dress, it sold out. She set the trends for Bang. She set the trends for getting her thing plagiarized, her speech. So it's just like, you know, when you got the FLOTUS setting trends, I'm going in the Republican Party. I'm like, Nikki Haley, Jan Brewer, you gonna start taking your clothes off? I mean, what kind of trend is she setting as the first lady, if she is the first lady? And they keep putting these pictures out, which they did look good.
I don't think he sees anything wrong with it. Like, whereas all of us look at it and they're like, oh, this could be the future first lady. I think he's like, yeah, check her out. That's, you know, she's mine.
But
like,
do we want the world looking at our first lady like that and having that image? I mean,
Sherry, do you want any of the things he's putting out there right now?
I know, but I'm saying, you know, we got Melania, and there should be a position of respect. If she has that position, it's going to be a platform. And I don't want to always be thinking of her boobs and her behind.
The contrast has never been more stark than comparing her to a Michelle Obama. On the heels of that, it will be difficult.
Absolutely.
And you almost feel bad. I feel a little bit of sympathy, maybe empathy for her. Because here's a woman that's very private, and yet the first time she speaks to a large mass. She gets slammed, the Republican National Convention. And now this is a woman who hasn't really been on the campaign trail and has tried to be a little bit more reclusive and spend time with her son. You feel bad for her.
She signed up for all this.
She did.
No. And, Donald, you say you care about women. Take care of your wife, Jack. Take care of your old lady.
There's no protection. You're right.
And yes, she's beautiful. She is a beautiful woman. But you know what? That's your wife.
I would have liked to see him show some outrage.
His son's mother. And the son of your mom. No. And the mother.
This just got really interesting.
He looks like he could be, but...
No. Interesting possible.
You knew what I meant. But, I just feel like, come on.
Yeah.
She's a really nice woman. And she took a lot of heat for something I think really was not her fault. And they let her hang out there. And isn't it funny that now whenever he hears something, he assumes someone else has written it?
Yeah.
Feeling guilty, Donald? Because that's what he said about the cons. Yeah. We'll be right back, because we can. This'll warm the cockles of your heart. 18-year-old Carly, the N-word in some of her tweets. And she posted them when she was 15 years old. And,
about 3 years
she
ago.
was trying to, be hip and cute and stuff. And she was going through something. And people were saying, no, then she had to go.
You know what,
What do
Miss
you
Teen
think?
USA standing by her, I think she has to go, but I put this one on Miss Teen USA. I mean, how can you can have such strict protocol, but you're not going to look at a teenager's social media? That's like the number one place that they communicate.
I also think we tell our children all the time, be careful what you post.
That's right.
Be careful what you say, because it could come back and it could cost you and hurt you. And I think that she might be a nice girl. She apologized. I think that to keep her says to young kids that it's okay to say whatever. All I got to do is say I'm sorry, and there's no consequences. I could be this way. I think she has to go. She has to. And excuse me, Vanessa Williams lost her crown. You remember when she lost her crown?
Yes, as Miss America.
As Miss America, because of some pictures that beautiful lady, and and another door opened for her. But I think she has stepped down.
Well, go ahead.
She's supposed to be a role model for all women, and I think when people look at that, they feel people feel marginalized. They feel like, well, what is she saying? And I also think there should be a character clause in there. When I looked at the website, it's Miss Teen USA seeks women who are savvy, goal-oriented, and aware. First of all, she's not aware. If she's posting this stuff, I don't know what she's paying attention to. But also, she should have this. It is about character. Whether you want to be or not, when you take a position like this, you become an advocate for a cause. You speak for all women. Then speak for everybody. Don't make racist comments and get away with it.
I'm sorry, Sherry. It wasn't just one time. There were like 5 or 6 tweets, maybe that didn't happen in a row, but really,
Like she was very
it wasn't
comfortable
like an
using
oops.
the word.
Yeah, it was definitely part of her vernacular.
This is what was funny to me. She said several years ago, I had some personal struggles. And I'm going, girl, it was 3 years ago. Now, my personal struggle several years ago, my husband took all my money. Well, I don't know what kind of personal struggle. But I'm like, when you
That's the struggle, y'all.
at that age, what's the struggle? You trying to find a name for your Instagram account? I'm trying to, what kind of struggle?
It's kind
Well, she used it regularly, so it was part of her.
Well, maybe she thought she was black. I don't know. Because there was some controversy even before Hay was crowned as Teen USA, when people online pointed out that the top 5 finalists looked like the same person.
I thought it was the same person. I did too. I thought this was all the same girl with different eye makeup.
Okay, this is how, as a black woman, I see this so much. I'm so desensitized. I forgot to be outraged. See this? I'm asking the white women at the table. How do you tell her apart?
I don't know.
I thought the
They
same
all
thing as
thought
you
it was
did.
one person.
Would you say she looked like Becky with the good hair?
I said she looked like Becky with the good hair, just different eye makeup. That's what I honestly thought.
I can't say. It was nobody.
They're all beautiful.
They're all beautiful, but
they are all the same.
Miss Teen USA.
Yeah.
Look around, y'all.
Yeah.
Just look around. You have a statement
I do
from
have a
them,
statement
don't
for
you?
full disclosure. You mentioned what this young lady, Carly Hay, had said, but she says a few years ago I used language that's inexcusable. I apologize. Due to a number of personal struggles, I was in a place not representative of who I am now, but through hard work, education, maturity, and thanks in large part to the sisterhood that I have come to know through pageants, I am proud to say that I am today a better person. I hope she continues on that road for her own sake. And
wish you the best.
Like I said, we wish her the best.
Step down.
Yeah.
It is a good teaching moment, too.
She does have to step down.
Yeah, but a teaching moment, let the teacher teaching moment. Sometimes it takes some time. You can't just learn maturity.
Well, here's
Using it, like you mentioned, we tell our kids. I think this is a good example to show people that what you put out there never dies.
And it has consequences, you know, and so it's important to remember that. But what else has consequences? The fact that our friend Sherry is going to do a new show.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
What are you doing?
I'm so excited. I have a new show coming out with John Lithgow.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. And it's called Trial and Error. So look for it coming. It's a mid-season replacement. So look for it in January. It's on NBC.
What's it about?
It's like The Office, but it's darker. And he's accused of killing his wife in this weird town. And I play part of his legal defense team. I have disorders. I have prosopagnosia, which is facial blindness. I'm dyslexic. I have short-term memory loss. I had surgery. I have a British accent. At times, I was born with no tear ducts, and I laughed inappropriately. It was so much fun. It was such a challenge. I felt like Stacey Dash on steroids just doing this character. I'm very excited. Thank you, Brooklyn. Watch for it.
Well, if you're going, we don't mind if you're going for that.
Yes. Thank you.
Because that's good. That's the
Where
trajectory.
You gonna be?
Huh? I'm everywhere, man. I'm doing all kinds of
Aren't you
stuff.
at Disneyland? Is it Disney World tomorrow?
No, somebody will give it to me. You know I don't remember. I'm somewhere soon. I'll let you know as soon as they come and tell me. We'll be right back.
Stars of the hit series Unreal, Constance Zimmer and Sherry Appleby, on how their hit series ruined reality TV for them. Next.
Season 2 of the must-see summer series Unreal keeps on blowing the lid off who really pulls the strings on your favorite so-called reality shows. Please welcome Constance Zimmer and Sherry Appleby. Now, we were just talking about an unfortunate tweet that went out by Miss Teen USA and how she regretted afterwards. Have you guys ever put anything out that kind of came back to haunt you?
No, I think we're actually both really sort of careful and on it. We wouldn't really do anything to put something out there that would come back.
Right.
And in fact, I was sort of hacked a little bit.
Oh.
And it really made me realize that anything you put on your computer is public domain, even though you think it's your personal property. So I'm really, really careful with that kind of
I
stuff.
think we're living in a time where nothing is your personal property
Right.
anymore. And I think that we're just not as conscious of it as we should be. And I think these kinds of things come up, and hopefully people will just continue to learn from them. But I think you take a picture of anything nowadays, you have to be prepared for people to see it.
Yeah.
No matter where it is.
That's true.
So.
And Constance, we have congratulations are in order, actually. A big congratulations because you were just nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress on Unreal.
That's a strong high five.
Now, I always wondered what it felt like to hear this. Where were you when you got the news?
I was in France, and I was on vacation because, I don't think we anticipated.
Was that your boo?
Oh, yeah, it's my husband. But, and so it was I found out on Twitter. My agents couldn't get through to me. Nobody could get through to me. The only person that got through was actually Jeffrey, who plays Jay on the show. And he got through with a FaceTime audio, and my phone was ringing, and I was like, why is he calling me in France, and what's happening? He was screaming and crying, and I was like, what's going on? And he's like, you're nominated for an Emmy. And I was like, what are you talking about?
And I heard a lot of people recognized you in France.
Oh, yes, it's crazy. I mean, the fact that the show has reached international waters is really beyond expectations. I mean, I was in the tiniest itty bitty little town in the south of France for the first part, and I had these 18-year-old girls saying you're the money Richard Power,
That's exactly who you have in the show.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And I was like, yes, but don't get that tattoo. And trying to talk to them, and they're just like, unreal. And you're like,
It is so great to hear that people are just being touched by the show. But while Constance was over in France, Sherry, you were at home with your two little ones. Was it Natalie and Owen?
And Natalie is 3 and Owen 7 months.
Yes.
And there they are, yeah.
Thank
you. Yeah, we are learning how to be a family of 4, and we bought a house, and so we're renovating it, which everyone knows who does it. We thought we'd be moving in August, and now we need a rental through November. So, just trying to manage everything, but we're having a great time.
Well, I know when you had the baby, because, when we have babies, we have to breastfeed no matter where we are. Did you have to breastfeed on the set?
Yeah, I went back to work when Owen was 2 months old, and so I'm like breastfeeding and pumping, and you know, you're surrounded by men all day, and like the talk of breastfeeding doesn't make them necessarily comfortable. So we came up with a code of 10:27, like that they could handle. So I was like, guys, it's my 3 hours are up, 10:27. I'll see you in 15, and like that was a way that we kind of knew that I had to go to my trailer and handle my business.
Yeah, it's funny. Good for you.
Thank you.
I'm still pumping, and we don't have a code, so I just scream, I'm pumping, and people come in and out, and like, you have the machine. Yeah,
It actually encourages people to come in.
well, my business isn't done, so I'm like, just come in. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, we would have some of our best conversations because we would give everybody would take a break.
Yeah.
So I would go into Sherry's trailer and it'd be like,
It's the worst sound on the planet, isn't it?
It dances to it for me. That's only time your boobs look really big when it gets full. Yeah, we're going to
So let's talk about Unreal. You play So you play two cutthroat producers on a show that's similar, we could say, to that of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
Sure.
And you reveal just how they get those dramatic scenes. Do you think this is really what goes on at these types of shows?
Well, the girl that co-created was a producer in The Bachelor for about 9 years.
Yes, that does happen.
And explain those tactics.
For instance, this season we locked a girl in a closet, and you know we hired someone from Central Casting to say that she was her mother and she was abused. All of it's a lie. You know, ply them with alcohol. They're not allowed to talk to like their friends or family back home.
So we leave it up to the audience to decide what's real and what's unreal.
That's how I feel about the reality shows. Yeah. But I know Constance, I have a show that I produce called Match Made in Heaven, and it's got a black bachelor, which I'm very proud of. And that's a good one. Lock one of the girls in a closet. I'm going to try that. But I love it. But and I've always lamented the fact that The Bachelor, after 19 seasons, they never had a man of color. But Unreal, you're now dealing with this season. You have a bachelor.
Incredibly well. He's super handsome.
Yeah, and very charming.
Everybody has been reacting the way they should. Like, why hasn't this been done sooner? And you guys are in your second season. You've already brought things to light. Right. But I think what was great about what the creators did on our show is we weren't trying to make commentary. We were just like shining a light into like dark corners. And I think that's what our show is doing very well. We're not very polite about it.
Sorry, Sherry, I know that we do want to say, going back to the tactics at The Bachelor, declined to comment, but I know particular, you directed her in one episode. It was a kissing scene, and you told her to really go for it.
Yes, well, it wasn't originally scripted as the kissing scene, their first kiss, but then at the table read, there I am as a director. At the table read, I could feel that there was some like chemistry in the scene, so I asked the producer, "Can we just have their kiss be here?" And Constance was like, "Sherry's like, stop, this is like a little much." And she was like, "It was like at a funeral."
It was in a cemetery.
It was a beautiful tree. It was in a beautiful tree, and so she was like, "I don't know how to do this." I was like, "Move out of the way. Let me show you. Just let him like push you up against the tree. Just go for it." And it was, look at you getting, it makes me blush. It was so much fun. It was so much fun to direct someone who you obviously respect as talent, but we're really good friends. And so to really sort of like bring these characters to light and have some sort of say in how these characters are evolving, it was just so much fun.
She was like she was amazing. It was a natural. I mean, it was so much fun. We had the best time. Everybody on the set, all the actors, we were all so excited because we were just like, oh my God, this is it. This is perfect.
Thank you guys. We want to really give you guys a thank you for being here today. Our thanks to Constance Zimmer and Sherry Appleby. Unreal airs Monday nights on Lifetime, and we're going to be right back. Watch this, these cute watches, and so much more coming up on View Your Deal with free shipping, y'all. Get back here.
So, would you guys entrust your little kids to spend time with me?
Yeah. You're great.
I'm so glad to hear that because I'm on a new show. I'm playing the Game Master, which, anytime people hear that I'm doing stuff, they're like, really? They let you do stuff for kids? I'm pretty good with kids.
You're so good.
Excellent.
Like you're like a pacifier to a child.
See?
Yeah.
I'm a pacifier to myself. That people say, why are you so laid back? They think it's for other reasons, but it's just because I'm just,
chill.
Why freak out?
I think you're actually better with my kids than I am with my own kids sometimes, but we also want to say a big shout out to Candace Cameron Bure, one of the TV show at the Teen Choice Awards, so way to go, Candace.
I would have told you eventually, but I was just, talking up myself for the moment. But that's okay. We want you all first to know that we thank you so much for coming to live show. We appreciate it. And we also want you to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy whatever view you happen to.